Oh, I know. But something's wrong with this picture. For me to be living in a time when the dollar is about to be destroyed by an imposter, the same Obama imposter now wants to increase the debt ceiling. How can they not stop this man? It's King Ludwig all over again, who broke the currency of Bavaria. The man is insane. How can he be doing this?
He's emptying the Treasury. Bush started it, and he's just going along.
Bush started it. Thank you very much. I called Bush a fiscal what? A year before anybody else. A fiscal socialist. It was Bush who started this process, but we cannot let Obama finish us off.
And by the way, there's an interesting story that come out according to a website that the First Lady now requires 26 servants. She has got 26 people on her payroll. This is unprecedented.
How many did the past First Lady have? Maybe Laura Bush had 27.
Well, speaking of Laura Bush, she actually backed Obama on giving this speech to America's children.
Well, Laura Bush has always been kind of the Queen of Diamonds to me, and I was never a fan of hers. Never. I always didn't go for the Stepford wife type of thing. But what about Obama speaking to students? The speech is kind of benign, isn't it? You know, stay in school, brush your teeth kind of thing.
It was interesting how it transformed over the weekend after there was criticism about political influence. They changed the speech. Originally, it was going to contain an urging to students to write a letter to say how they could help the president. And once there was criticism of that, they took it out of the speech.
Well, every dictator has always seen the children as the future. It's a classic left-wing tactic of winning the hearts and minds by the far left, which is the next generation. It's exactly what Mao Zedong did with the Red Brigades. It's what the Khmer Rouge were in Cambodia. They become amoral murderers if they're raised early enough and hard enough by a dictator. So this man has to be watched very carefully. There's no question Obama is a dictator in waiting. Let's leave it at that. There are many other stories. The dollar hits a low for the year. Pelosi is back asking for new money. Fannie Mae, the people who broke us, now want billions of dollars to pay for the lawyers. It's unbelievable. It doesn't get any better by the day. It gets worse.
And tomorrow night, Obama's going to give a speech to America to try to sell them again on socializing.
Come on. I think that he's hit his high water mark. I don't think this man could go any farther with this. He's hit his high water mark. At least that's my belief on this issue. The whole party, the Democrat Party, is going to lose 30 to 40 seats. By the way, we didn't talk about the biggest story of the weekend. The 3 British Muslims found guilty of wanting to blow up 3 airplanes at 30,000 feet, killing thousands of people. Did you catch that story? Buried by ABC, CBS, and NBC. 3 British Muslims were found guilty of conspiracy to murder thousands of passengers and crew in an unprecedented airline bomb plot that could have proved as deadly as the 9/11 attacks. Buried by the American media. The word Muslim is left out of it. When the hell are the people going to wake up in this country?
I noticed none of them were banned from the country.
No, they're not banned. I think probably for compassionate reasons they'll be allowed out of jail very soon. By the way, remember that charade of the Lockerbie bomber? I knew when they said that he had only weeks to live, they were lying, and I knew that when the doctor in whatever hellhole in Africa he went to, Libya, said that he had only weeks to live, I knew it was made up. By the way, you know who's back? Trafficant in Cleveland. Did you see that on my website?
I saw that, yeah.
Trafficant rips enemies at welcome home party. You got to give it to the guy. His signature toupee firmly back atop his head. He said, I was a quarterback, I was a congressman, now I'm a convict. I mean, I always admired the guy. To me, what Trafficant did was illegal, but compared to the Congress of today, he is Snow White. Long-term unemployment numbers reach record. 5 million Americans have been out of work for more than 6 months. I thought Obama was going to create 3 million new jobs. I guess Nixon stopped him from doing it, huh? Green Czar Van Jones in pre-Obama days. Did you see the picture of him with the dreadlocks?
I saw that. He looks like Abu Mumia Jamal or something.
He was a supporter of Abu.
That it doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yale criticized for nixing Muslim cartoons and book. Cowards at Yale, the same university that gave Van Jones his law degree. Citing fears of violence, Yale University has removed cartoons of Islam's prophet Muhammad from an upcoming book about how they caused outrage across the Muslim world. What a bunch of cowards and backstabbing vermin.
Same thing that the Danes did.
Well, at least it's not banned in Denmark. Or is it banned in Denmark? I'm banned in the UK, and by the way, I got to tell you, first printing and first edition. I can't miss this opportunity of Banned in Britain. There is still a golden opportunity to get the first printing first edition of Banned in Britain, and you'll see how the United Kingdom banned Savage for oil.
Savage. 910 at 9:10 a.m. on 910 a.m. The new generation of talk radio is coming.
You know, with Obama's upcoming talk to the nation about health care and his talk to the children in school today, and of course remembering 9/11, it brings up questions about service. Today we're going to speak with Dr. Peter Breggin with his views on how progressives view caring and service.
Recently, I listened to a member of the Kennedy family talking about Teddy and how much he cared about and helped the younger Kennedys who had been stricken by the assassinations of Jack and Robert. He then concluded with a political observation that caring about the most vulnerable of our citizens is the heart of America, the core of our nation's best values. I fully understand where this Kennedy was coming from. I have said that a nation can be judged by how it treats its most vulnerable citizens, especially its disadvantaged children. And I am convinced that caring is essential to every helping relationship, both professional and personal. I have devoted much of my professional life to acting on behalf of children and other citizens who need help and protection. But there is a problem when caring is made the central value of a political philosophy, or when it is seen as the core value of our nation. Before there can be caring, there must be individuals who are capable of caring and capable of giving of themselves and their resources. Indeed, people must have the opportunity to generate the resources before they can share them.
Where does responsibility fit into caring?
For me, responsibility for myself, being independent and cherishing my freedom, has always been a given. For whatever reason, these attitudes have been a part of me as far back as I can recall, into my early childhood. I mistakenly assumed that these were everyone's core values. Before we can become caring individuals, we must first be responsible individuals. We must first become people determined to take charge of our own lives, capable of independent thought and action, and capable of the self-reliance that comes with the exercise of these values and attitudes.
In his talk to America's children, he did not talk about how they could help the president owing to pressure. Well, that's good. Doesn't that sound a lot like serving the president originally?
Yes, Obama was planning to manipulate the tender feelings of children, to make them feel it's their duty to serve their president, the way subjects are taught to serve their king. I cannot imagine George Washington asking Americans of any age to serve him. He risked his life to create a nation where citizens would never be asked to serve their rulers. President Obama has also talked about dedicating 9/11 as a day of service. There again is that underlying leftist implication that the government or its leaders should tell us when and whom to serve. More than that, 9/11 has nothing to do with service. 9/11 should be a solemn day of remembrance for our citizens who died in a war against their nation, and a solemn reminder of the need to take responsibility for our survival and our freedom. 9/11 should be more like Pearl Harbor Day than Earth Day.
Exactly.
Besides, it's an insult to ask Americans to devote a day of service. Every man or woman who stays home to take care of a family devotes nearly every waking hour to the service of children, family, and ultimately society. Every man or woman who goes to work to support a family is providing a service to children, family, and society. In fact, almost anyone who makes a living does so by providing a service. Whether you are cleaning streets or planning them, maintaining buildings or building them, using loans to invest in your business or giving out loans as your business, you are providing services within our free enterprise system. Soldiers, police officers, teachers, doctors, waiters and waitresses, lawyers, plumbers, bankers, business managers, and manufacturers. We all provide services. That's the secret beauty of the free enterprise system. We provide services in return for fees or profits, and then nearly all of us share our resources with other people and the nation. Returning to the heart of America is caring or freedom and responsibility. The heart of America. Don't make the mistake of assuming the existence of a free and responsible citizenry. Freedom and responsibility are the bedrock of America, and that has provided us the opportunity to become a caring and generous society. In fact, members of the Kennedy family have the opportunity to display how much they care precisely because their patriarch took responsibility for generating the enormous wealth that they enjoy. Only in America. That brings us to what I call the primary principles, the refrain of my weekly report. Protect freedom, take responsibility at all times, express gratitude for all your gifts and opportunities, become a source of love. You can find me and listen to all these reports and download the transcripts at Breggin.com. That's BREGGIN.com.